So I pursue my double degree. Then after that, I did two things. Start going to do my PhD and then apply for police force. Yes, I have been a victim myself. I got wrecked, I got drugged. I'm 100% Thai.
Look at the camera.
I'm 100% Thai. Basic stuff like in interrogation.
You have a son, right?
Yeah. I wanted to build my path into Interpol. Yeah. So
Ready? Let's go.
So welcome, Picha.
hi.
Very happy to have you, actually. And we know each other since Paris, but
Couple of months now.
Yeah, a couple of months. Really? No. 2 months.
Yes. February, right? Can you believe?
Really?
February.
Time flies. It's already middle of the year.
I know. Yeah. I know.
Yeah, but like I do feel there are a lot of things that even you and me probably didn't cover, about you that I'm really curious about because I only got to know you from the professional sense. So I would like to start from, can you tell us a little bit who's Picha?
A degen.
Obviously. Otherwise we wouldn't be sitting here.
I don't know. How do I describe this? I think in a lot of sense, in Web3, I'm a connector. Yeah, with just very crazy passion for the space. Founder and CEO of Gather. Gather is Web3 directory platform. So we create and aggregated everything related to Web3. So projects, communities, and so on. I try to make it very seamless for people, whether they're Web3 natives or Web 2 trying to get into Web 3 to navigate around the space, so it's not bounded by ecosystems or certain technologies. In a way, the way I see it is because people spend so much time. I'll give you a use case. Say, for example, you want to collaborate with a community in Brazil, for example. Then you search online, right? You go on Twitter, and then you spend that's already a couple hours looking on Twitter's for prospects, right? Then when you do your own due diligence, you basically when you look into when was this account created, how many community members they have, how many followers they have, and then you look into engagement number against the followers number, how many of your friends follow that account. Then you go on their Discord to see if they're still active. So you join Discord, go to general chat, comparing engagement rate against the members there. It's just so much research, right? So that's just collaboration. So people who want to invest, whether they're buying NFT, whether they're buying token and so on, I feel like it's just so much to do. Basically, a lot of time spent researching, but that doesn't guarantee anything. And I think at the end of the day, we're still going to the basic, which is asking your friends, do you know this guy? Do you know this project? What do you think about them? Right? That's what we do. That's what we cross-check with each other. We ask for referrals or friends to vouch for other people or other projects, right? So that we feel a little bit more confident when we're investing, when we're collaborating, when we're partnering with certain entity. Now, on my platform, they'll be able to search and navigate around what's happening in a space. Very basic information. You want to search on specific type of game on certain ecosystem, for example, you should be able to do that, right? Without all the junk online. On the site, I have Game Unity, which is a subunit of Gather. And we are basically community of communities. We partner with 40 communities around the world. Through them, we're able to understand different markets. That's 4 continents and 14 countries. I do a lot of events. So since last year, we've done 53 events in 7 countries.
Wow.
Yeah, so contributing in different ways. But for that, I think it just compiles and add on into our ecosystem in terms of collaborating, discovering new things that's happening in the space. And ultimately, we want our platform to be a tool, a reliable tool for anyone who wants to navigate around the space without wasting their time and resources and without having to rely on, communities so much. We see gated NFT communities, we see alpha groups, people people who are not Web3 natives, they wouldn't be able to have access to that. And it's so unfair. All we talk about is onboarding the mass, but we're not allowing them to have the basic information. So by creating this platform, I'm really hoping that this would be a way to contribute to the space by helping a lot more people simplify their journeys into Web3.
And why putting people together and doing due diligence is so important for you?
I've been a victim myself. So yes, I have been a victim myself when, in my early days in Web3, also very hard to understand what's happening. And Web3 especially, it moves so fast. And so I don't wish for that kind of experience for other people. Okay. I got wrecked, I got rugged. Okay. Before Web3, also wrecked and rugged in other things.
Where did you grow up? What happened? Or like, what's happening?
No, but I was also a trader before this. So stock trading and so on. Yeah.
So can you give me a little bit of the early context of your life?
Early days?
Yeah, where did you grow up? And then what kind of education background? How you are so passionate about what you're doing? And, yeah.
Grew up in Thailand. So I'm Thai. I grew up in Bangkok, Thailand. I'm 100% Thai.
Look at the camera. 100% Thai.
100% Thai. I've only been studying abroad in my high school days. So I went to New Zealand for a year. And then there I skipped a year. So I was able to get into university 1 year earlier. Then came back here to Thailand, went to do my bachelor in communication management. After that, I did my master degrees in Australia. So the first one was professional communication. So I learned more about crisis management, or organizational structures, internal communications and so on. But that was also really great foundations for me to understand, different elements or how communication can really scale things in other aspects, or whatever you do, you really need to have good foundations. And my own personal inspiration. So my dad was a police officer, and my family has always been in public service. And I felt that, actually maybe I should do something for the public. And so I pursue my double degree and international relations and international law at a different university after. And at the time, I wanted to build my path into Interpol. Okay. Yeah. So, the coursework was just crazy. The more I learned, the more I realized that we're so fortunate. Living in this side of the world, all we complain is aircon is not working, traffic is crazy. But there's so many people who are going through so much, kids that have to become child soldier. It's mind-blowing that this is happening at that day, right? But even current day in 2024, we still see wars happening in certain parts of the world. And at the time, I felt that I can't believe that some people actually have to go through this, and as young as 6 years old. Then after that, I came back to Thailand, did two things, started going to do my PhD in public policy, and then apply for police force.
Can you tell police force?
Very drastic.
Prettiest one.
Thank you. So also again, the politics then in Thailand was not very stable. It's hard to really know what was happening. You heard so many stories also on the news, right? But then people on the ground said it's not that bad. But then there's also concrete details about things that were actually bad, like people getting killed on the road and stuff like that. It's so hard. Yeah, it's so hard to believe that, hey, that's the country that I grew up in, in my capital city. So I felt really, I felt like I wanted to do something. And so I went ahead and applied to join the police force. The situation wasn't, I think it was on and off at the time for several years. So anyway, I got accepted in, and I started going to training, really, really crazy trainings.
What kind of trainings?
Just physical training.
Yes. What do they put you into?
Everything, how to assemble guns, like marching. I learned like everything, like basic stuff, like in interrogations.
Like physical.
Yeah, physical.
What?
Yeah, like a lot of things, like physical trainings mostly. In the afternoon we learned.
No, physical interrogation. Like.
Yeah, we did that as well,
Really?
like how to crack down.
Okay, can you bring me back to the day that you decided to join?
Join the police
Yeah.
force. Yeah.
What happened? What was the event that happened? It's like, okay, I'm determined.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this.
It took 2 years to get accepted.
Oh, really?
So it was not just like, you know what, can I apply? I was like, you really have to wait for the openings. Yeah.
And how long you served?
A couple of years. Yeah, only a couple of years.
Only a couple of years.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that's like probably a century in the industry where we are in right now.
Yeah.
But like, okay, what happened in between? Can you bring us like just like give us a little bit taste of like what's the police force life as you back then in that era?
I think for me, I didn't have any hard time. The people I work with were really pleasant. They were very supportive. I just didn't. I think like the hard part was actually when the coup happened. So the military took over and everyone in our office had to move. So we, from the police headquarters, we moved to the ministry, the government house first, and then the Ministry of Human Security and Social Development, which is to do with like also human trafficking, orphanage, and so on. I liked that. But at the same time, I was in my prime years. I was in my late 20s. So I felt that I wanted to do more. I wanted to go back to the police force. I didn't want to be a civil officer. And because of that, I decided to leave.
And
Yeah.
just like because the coup happened, and then you're like,
Yeah, so the coup happened, and I felt that it would take a while for us to get back to the normal. It's already been several years since this, the coup and the political, like unstable political situation in Thailand. So I felt that, is this my life going to be, always waiting? And I don't want to always I don't want to wait anymore. And I felt that, okay, sure, everyone has that dream. And it doesn't mean that, things change, right? Your perspective changed, you evolved as well. And you can always contribute by other things for the same goal.
So when you quitted your police force job and then you entered the startup scene, was it easy?
It was easy. It was so easy. And I was like, why was it so easy? And what was I doing?
What did I do?
So basically, the first startup I joined was called Orami, which is basically a merger between Moxie and Vilna. It's a woman-centric e-commerce.
Oh, wow.
So anything that a woman want, really, anything that a woman want, like beauty, health, pets, home, anything, really anything, electronics and so on. So the platform was created that way. And I was responsible for the lifestyle side so that the website wouldn't just be an e-com. It would also be a destination for content and for community. That was the first community I built.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And then, so basically, it was easy because I think that working for startups, what I really like is that, the people are so agile and you see how small teams can really create significant results. And it's just such a significant comparison for me because I was in a conservative organization, right, where there's a lot of people to talk to get different tiers of approvals and so on. But when I work for startup, it's like one person decide or one person handles multiple roles and responsibilities. So it was refreshing and it was not hard to adjust to that.
Was it in Thailand?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. And then after that, were you also working in Thailand-based companies or
Hardly. I was always working for international company for Thai operations.
Ah, okay. So you after that you based in Bangkok most of the time.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And then like what happened there? Because it seems like you change a lot of different startups, like, you know, what's happening.
Startup is so unstable, right? You know, you scale up, you scale down, you merge. I mean, I also like exploring different strategies, working with different teams and so on. Like my role is always activation. So it's never been like, you know, full-time. I helped a lot of projects activated the root mark communities and so on. So
isn't it interesting that you were working in this kind of, let's say, Thailand government back then was really non-entrepreneurial. I wouldn't put it in the entrepreneurial category, but after that, you directly jump into a super entrepreneurial journey. Do you think when you were a kid, you were already entrepreneurial or not? And then what happened in between? Like, you know, like what kind of personality you had, and right now, who are you?
I think I'm a curious person.
Yeah.
So like entrepreneurial, I always had great ideas to like, you know, make money and so on. Entrepreneurial, I think like it requires a lot of different qualities. So working with different startups really helped shaping that and making it more concrete for me before I actually started doing my own things, right? So the differences would be that when I was younger, I had so many opportunities to wander around, explore different ideas and so on, but execution was probably not amazing.
So
like didn't make money. Like it was just pure passion.
That's good.
And growing up, really started putting in work. It's, you know, obviously more data driven, right? All the tools that we started getting as well.
So your parents were supportive when you were, you know, I don't know, wandering
everywhere.
around?
My parents have always been supportive. They want me to be happy.
Okay.
You know, and I think, I mean, as long as I'm happy, and I think that, like, you know, at the basic, if I'm happy, they're happy. But they're also like, you know, if I say I'm doing something, if I have like a press con or speaking somewhere, my mom and my sister will always be there. Like
really?
front row.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. So.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. Because
so this one does that as well.
Oh wow. No, because like my parents, I don't think they have been to any of my graduation ceremony. They have never been to any performance. Like, you know, I'm one of those typical Asian kids that the parents wouldn't show up, just be yourself, you know.
Why?
I don't know. They just feel like it's probably not important. It's your job to get this done. So you get it done. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, so like when I heard that, I said, wow, this is so... Is it typical though? I don't know.
But yeah, so sometimes they'll come with like a bouquet and I ask them not to because like we don't do that in Web3.
No way. So Web3, just for people to know, is a very vibrant tech industry. Yeah, and then her parents will bring flowers to your speech. That is so cute though.
Yeah, and I'm like just a panelist.
Really?
Yeah.
In Thailand.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Imagine they fly to Paris or something and just like to bring you flowers.
No, but it's cute.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
And do you have like, how many siblings do you have?
Including myself, 4.
And you are the
third.
The third one? Oh my God, are you all close or?
Yeah, we're close. We just have different dynamics. Like I'm more close with my big brother, because we're also in tech industry in Web3. My sister, for different things, she really helped putting my life together. Like you need to get
what's not together.
Like don't forget to check messages and all those kind of things. We're all in like different family group chats or whatever. And then my little brother, who's more into books, and I love books.
Yeah, true. Can you recommend one book that, recently you got super inspired?
There's so many books that I'm reading right now. Like I love 10X, it's good. And then, but my classic, like the one I always go back to reading, is called A Tipping Point. I share that to you.
Yeah.
I really like that one. Actually, I read that when I was doing my bachelor degree.
And what do you think it helped you the most?
It really changed my perspective, and if you're creating something, like what would be the tipping point?
Can you give more concrete than the audience can understand? Like,
Like say something like but we talk about consistent effort, right? But then the results never happen. Like what would be the tipping point? Why would people start using your platform? Why would suddenly this effect work? Like what make it tip? So like that tipping point is what we should focus on, and we can analyze like, what doesn't work. Like in the same situation with this, like say you and me, we're both making the same effort in running, and then like you you show more progress or you're getting somewhere faster. Why was it that I also get up at the same time, I run the same path? Why do I not get the same recognitions? Why do I not get the same results? Why am I not making enough sales? What is it that make your journey, like your process tipped? Like there's that element. For example, last year when we contributed to 48 events in 6 countries, I don't know how I did it. I just did it, At one point I was taking 15 calls a day, and I just did it. And if you look at it from like, like a really closer look, right? Like how did you do that? On my calendar was like full on every day, right? And how did I do it, right? But if you look at it from like, like a distance, right? Then you would see like, hey, there's consistent pattern and so on. But that what was it that make it tip? What makes my event services become more recognizable and so on, right? Like that one event that really create a tipping point, or that person that created a tipping point for me, for example. And I can go into more details. What I see for myself might not be the same as other people as well. So yeah, this kind of things, yeah.
Yeah, isn't it just funny? It actually takes almost 10 years to become an overnight success, and people don't see it. When they see it, they'll be like, oh my God, you're so lucky.
Yeah, I hate that word.
Me too. I remember when I was on a podcast, got interviewed, and then they asked me if there is one thing that people meant to praise you, but you take it as almost like an insult, I'm like, when people tell me I'm lucky. It's not about luck.
It's not about luck. You create your own luck.
Yeah. It's like, the nights you're not sleeping, you study.
Exactly.
You put things together.
You're the one that grind.
Yeah. So
I agree.
People also tell you you're lucky.
Not really. But in other circumstances, not just work, in other circumstances, you're lucky this and that. And I'm like, actually, even at the basic of things, like I didn't get lucky because people didn't recognize me because there's a handle. Yeah, I made effort to go everywhere, right? To pitch, to collaborate with different communities. So I did make effort in that sense, but I don't think they really said the word lucky. But some people would say that, and I think it is an insult for sure. Another word that I really don't like is it is what it is.
Yeah.
It makes you very passive.
Yeah. Like, to be honest, I feel like certain situation, if I cannot control, then situation, it is how it is, But if something that I can control, I think everybody should put a little bit of effort of making the things better, right?
Yeah. I mean that, but you don't have to accept it, you know?
What if there's thunderstorm and I cannot change the weather? For instance,
I think like it depends what you need to do that night. If it's a thunderstorm and then your mom is sick, you can't just say that it is what it is.
Oh yeah, true.
Right?
That,
you gotta make your way.
Yeah, that is
right.
Yeah, you cannot change the weather. You can change your behavior. Yeah. So take me back to the day that you said, okay, this is my tipping point. I want to start my own company.
Yeah.
What was
Well, I work with a lot of companies in Web3 then as well, where I was part of communities. That means that I was holding more assets than I should have. Became a community member. No, so what I've started noticing is that like, there's a lot of people that claim to be things that they're not. Like they bought followers and then they're like, we have like 50,000 followers on Twitter. And I know that it's not just organic. Yes. Like,
I mean, to be honest,
why are you bragging?
It's easy to spot, right?
Yes.
Isn't that?
Yeah, but depends. Some people will just be completely ignorant about it. It really depends. And I just feel like it's so unfair for the little guys, the airdrop farmers or the community, like grassroots communities, or even like people who want to get into Web3 and have not yet been into Web3 to fall scammed into this, right? At the same time, working for different projects at different stages and connecting with different people in different parts of the world for different reasons, and being able to discover all these tools, this platform, these communities, and so on, and not being able to collaborate with them purely because the project you're working on is not ready. I end up helping people collaborate. I end up making introductions. I end up bringing people together, and they were able to form so many different kind of collaborations together. Integration, use case, activations, and so on. I was really happy because I know that it was because of me. So at the same time, I realized as well that, by introducing, I have to vouch for people and platform. And because things move so fast in Web3, you might not really get a clear gist of what's really happening. And so 763 leads that I started with. On Google Sheet.
So those leads you created, you already did the due diligence background check. So you do the check by yourself and then put it on your platform for people to
search,
go over it.
Yeah.
What kind of mechanism or process criteria you're looking for?
So the criteria project being listed, it can be anything that's as long as it's related to Web3. So it can be like L1, L2, tools, infra, depend, runes, Solana, gaming, 404.
Just so
anything.
Everybody knows it's just everything you see in the real world in the digital world. That's everything she's talking about. Yeah.
Think about it as yellow pages. I just want to make it one place where people can really skim through it. I just want to search for specific things, but at the same time providing them authentic sentiment of what's really happening. I can be listing, a meme project, right? And it doesn't mean that it's a sustainable project, but let's see what other people think. Right? And then you can see it from rating and reviews, which we don't have. We don't see that. I mean, these days, if you launch a meme coin, you don't even need to have a website or a Discord anymore, right? Yeah. So I think that it's very necessary to have that and to be that.
So on your platform, people can rate?
Yeah, list, rate, and review.
Okay. So it's almost like Amazon, right? So people list things, and then when customer buys it, they can, put a rating, and it will have review. Interesting. So how long has it been, and then how does it perform so far?
So it's been really challenging and eye-opening for me as well. Stepping into this role as a founder. And doing all the operations part, definitely kudos to all the founders. It's not easy. And I think, sometimes seeing things that happen in the space is very disheartening. If you're a builder and then suddenly putting 3K on a meme coin gives you 4 mil.
I know,
right? Why am I building this? So it could be very disheartening. So when I started, I did not know anything about coding. I took a course, online course, and then I just wanted to learn what's the difference, and then being able to communicate with a dev, because obviously it's different languages, right? For people that communicate, I could be saying it's a fork, and you could be it's something that you use to, to pick up your food. So it's clearly different, right?
I didn't think of it, but yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so it's clearly different languages. So I did that, and then when I started building the platform V1, it was very simple. It was very, very simple landing page for people to submit on our platform. And then, my God, that time was around this time last year, actually, exactly this time last year. we had 800 plus registered users, so almost 1,000, and almost 4,000 project listed.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was crazy. It was crazy, the things that we could do then. And then one was very simple. It was just landing page. And people just didn't just type in and so on. There was no algorithm to check yet. I did manually check everything.
Yeah.
And now, I've hired more full-time devs to help me build a platform that's more sophisticated. We're adding on AI elements into the platform as well. We're adding on reward system for users so that they know that they're not just contributing for the sake of contributing. And for that, we haven't released a new version yet, and we're just basically doing the last touch-up before we launch the platform. So to answer your question, it's been a lot of learning, a lot of learning for sure. Resilience, I think, is the right word.
What would you say is the most important thing as a founder everybody should pay attention to?
Just basically being able to find the right people with the right mindset to join your team, because things, it really moved really fast in startup, in Web3 and so on. So you do need people with the right mindset that really help push your product or your platform forward. Otherwise, it's a lot of pullbacks.
Yeah, I think so too. Me as a founder since also 3 years only, actually. And I feel like running a startup it's like running a code.
Yeah.
You need to run a code, and the first 5 to 10 people are the most important. If they are not good, they're B players, they shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And because that will frustrate the A players in your team.
Yeah.
And in the end of the day, the team just collapses.
Yeah.
So I think in the end of the day, the people are really important.
Yeah.
And the heart and the mind is just there's nothing more important than this.
Yeah.
I feel like. And have you ever faced burnout?
Yeah, I have.
What happened?
Actually, just around this year, last year, I collapsed once.
Collapse that you...
Yeah, just black out.
Really?
Yeah, but I think because I really went nonstop, Yeah.
Have you learned something there?
No.
You are still not sleeping. You took a call 3 a.m. this morning. Girl, and then you caught a fly. And then you're here.
Yeah, it's bull market. And last year was bear market. Imagine this year. No, your health is wealth, really. If you can't do it physically, then you just can't. Right? I think that's the only thing that will stop me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't try to convince you.
Yeah. But that was, not so much of a burnout. That was just a really big sign. After that, I tried to pull myself back whenever time I feel that, I can't take this anymore. I feel like collapsing, which happens sometimes when I'm handling a few different things. I need to learn to delegate more tasks, but I feel really, really overwhelmed. And then I need to find peace and just walk.
Meditate? Yeah. Do you meditate?
No. I think meditating is a way to be with yourself, right? But it doesn't work like that with me. I need to get away from everything, walk around. Temple is a nice place because you have so many different elements, and I'm Buddhist. So, prayers help as well, but also a very quiet place to be with yourself.
And you have a son, right?
Yeah.
And how old is he again?
He's turning 7.
Turning 7. And how old is your startup?
How old?
Yeah.
1 year.
Oh, okay. I thought you built at the same time, when
No.
Okay. How do you navigate now? I know 7 years, so probably it's pretty easy to handle now. And then I know your kid. He's kind of a good kid from the Zoom call. From Zoom call tonight, I will know. How do you navigate those two roles?
How do I manage both things? we were just inseparable. I just started traveling 2 years ago without him. My first trip without him was like, oh my God, like, you gonna be okay? That was just 2 years ago when he was 5, when we really, really not together for the first time. I think I would like to think that I'm showing him good example of like what hard work is. And I think, because I work so closely with a lot of Web3 games, him seeing me playing games like testing, showing the communities what a game is about, educating the community and so on. Like, he likes that. He thinks it's the coolest thing ever. I used to stream with my content creators friends, and then he would come in and he would join the conversation. He would want to,
God, really?
It's a very different dynamic now. He is also like my inspirations, right? Like, I mean, also like my reason to work really hard, because I want to provide a good life for him, and at the same time, it's very scary to see like how technology really empower people. A lot of successful people in the space that I've seen or met is like in their early 20s, and they made billions already in a couple of years, right? Like, technology really, really empowers people. And I started taking him to coding class and everything. I think like by that time that he's old enough, he would have so many alternatives. I wouldn't want him to spend as much time in school. I want him to go out and try and fail and test what he really likes. And I think the future will allow that. You wouldn't need degrees anymore.
What do you think about degrees now when you are looking at employees?
I'm like, why did I
have my opinion. Okay, to be fair, because I also have double master degree, and then but now probably since 2 years, when I'm looking at the CVs, for all the applicants, I never look at the background anymore. I'm just like, okay, good, you've been to Harvard and stuff, whatever what that means today, but what have you built?
Yeah.
Even though they're a university student just fresh out of university, I mean, yes, but like, what did you do on the side, right?
Yeah. What have you I agree. Also, adding on what they post on their Twitter.
Which one?
Like, I mean, like, as in Web3, right? Your Twitter is your CV.
Yeah, exactly.
Your Twitter is your resume. Like, I think things like this, you can make it up as well, because a lot of people in Web3 are anonymous. So it's really hard to check as well. But your Twitter will show you your interests, the kind of people you follow, the stuff you post, your creativities, your insights, how analytical you are, and so on. So I think it's really important to look into applicants' Twitter as well.
Yeah. I think on all the socials, LinkedIn nowadays, and like, Instagram, I don't know TikTok that well, but probably also one of those social media platforms you can showcase.
Yeah, for sure.
The work, right? The thing is, I'm just wondering, do you think it's not so beneficial for introverts? Introverts, they don't showcase their work that much, but actually they are super talented. Autistics, for instance, I'm just wondering how we in the future can navigate this as well, because I try not to be discriminating people, but it's gonna be hard at some point, right?
But I think it depends, right, which role they're applying.
Yeah.
But once again, you wouldn't really need your degrees anymore.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met so many also interesting Gen Zers.
Yeah.
They're just like, you know what, I'm just not gonna go to school because I'm good at trading, so I'm just stay with trading. And then when he was, I don't know, like 15 years old or something, he flipped 500 euro to like 2K or 4K in 1 or 2 weeks. And he said, you know what, I'm just gonna do this until now. And he's a really good web influencer now.
Wow. Am I seeing him?
In Germany.
Okay.
You will have to come to Germany.
Okay.
Then I'll introduce you.
Yeah, I think, but that's also like, the beauty of it too, right? Like allowing people to really excel in different things. That's not traditional anymore. And I think that's also for us, I mean, imagine a world without technology.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But I'm just also wondering because education also gives you this very good logic. You know how things work logically, navigate you in a way. There's a textbook kind of thing you can follow, right? When you are facing a certain situation. I think that works for me, that helps me a little bit there, here and there. But probably it wouldn't matter anymore because open source, imagine all these AIs and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think AI is good or not?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's how you optimize things.
You think it's
right?
good?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It really depends how you see it, right? But I think it's good, and I think it's really scaling things. Like I can't imagine doing everything manually anymore. It really saves time. It's just how you use it and use it for the greater good.
Do you afraid of AI is gonna do bad to you? And are you teaching your kid how to spot like danger in this kind of technology?
So I could see it happening. Like it's already happening, especially from my background as well. Like, people getting scammed from like call center people, like using your voice, right? That's one thing. And then I mean, imagine like them forging your kid's voice. Mama, help me. Something like that. Like that would be very frightening for me. We have a rule at home as well. Like, I mean, also for myself, like if a strange number call, we don't say anything first. We wait until that person talk or something like that, and then we have ways to cross check as well if the person is the actual person they claim to be. We have a secret word.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah, it's very smart. I think every family should have that kind of mechanism. Not exactly the same, but kind of mechanism. Yeah, I think you're really kind of bring your kids into this real world, like jungle basically.
So fast.
Yeah, but 7 years old is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, he will be 10 soon, and then 15, and then 20. And I'll be really old.
No, I'm behind schedule, so don't worry about that. Yeah. But wow, that's a really fruitful conversation. And before we end this podcast, if there's one thing you wish I would ask you, but I didn't, what would that be? And how would you answer it?
Oh my God. I didn't think about this.
Okay.
I didn't think about this.
It's okay.
Yeah. I didn't think about this. I think maybe my role in women empowerment in Web3, right? Because we're gonna talk about it tonight, right?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are also part of this girls gang.
LFTG girls.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter. Actually, from the beginning, just for fun, right?
Yeah.
Still for fun, but I do see creating a lot of noise these days. And then I hope if we keep going and we can have more positive impact, no matter it's online or offline.
Yeah. I think so too. I think the content we do is very uplifting. Especially there's so many toxic stuff on, in the space already. I think it's really cool and a way for us to really bond as well. Because we really enjoy spending time together in Paris. Yeah, it was so fun. All the content we were doing, might as well put it into good use.
Exactly.
Yeah, I told Kuan-Ning before, I've never really done this.
Yeah, I want to ask you what. Okay, so Picha told me that she has never had any like girls gang or like
I've never had a girls
group. So why?
I don't know. Nicole always say that I'm tomboyish, right? She always like, if you describe like all the 5 girls in the LFG girls, it's like Picha is the tomboy one.
Yeah.
But and I think that's my personality as well. And I think lifestyle and I just like lifestyle and the parts where I was moving around a lot, the parts where I was, doing different things at the same time. Like, I wasn't really the party type. I wasn't really, like a dress up, kind of girl. And then I think like as I'm older, I have now time to hang out with a girly gang. And I think, my best friends, I have girl best friends as well. Like, but it's just we don't hang out, we don't dress up, we don't do like content together. So it's very, very eye-opening. It's so much fun. And I share with the girls as well that, I don't know how you edit content because mine looks like PowerPoint.
No,
When I do. Like, this is for presentation, not for content, not to please your eyes. Fact, and fact. Due diligence.
that's it. I think we need that kind of personality too, Yeah, it's important.
To balance, right?
Yeah. So now everybody knows this girl's gang is legit.
Yeah, but I think like it's really nice, and I think just to clarify, LFGG girls is never, just content and dress up and, we go parties and so on. It's never like that. Actually, we go to bed really early. We dress up to go to bed. Dress up, take pictures, and then like, see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? I think like in Paris, it was like, what we didn't really talk about was that like, we had so much fun because we were all doing our own things. You had your own things to do. You had your meetings. I had conferences. I had events. I had, like Kiki, Nicole were also, had their own agendas, right? We all had our own agendas to be there in Paris. We stayed together. And I think the highlight of it was every day as we all came back, from our errands and itineraries and so on, we share what we did, I think that was so nice. And to see women who thrive, shares a kind of motivations and passion for the space, I think that's really, really important.
Yeah.
It's very uplifting. We lift each other, and content is just part of it, right? We started because it was fun, but then at the same time, we really enjoy each other's company because we know that, hey, we have each other's back when we're building.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to build in this industry, being the minority.
That's true,
Yeah, so that was really nice to really connect with other founders, female founders in the space, and doing this together is, something fun, but then seeing it evolve as well over the last couple months.
Yeah, I really enjoy also because not every girlfriend you can be talking about business and talking about what kind of reel we are going to do to entertain people. Not joking, but like, And then meanwhile, in a group chat, talking about which coin will moon. Will make you a lot of money and which project is legit or not. I think that is really rare.
Yeah. So it's really, really nice that we found each other, and I think like also building together feels very different, right? It's comforting to know that like there's other female founders with the same experience, and then we have so many common interests.
Yeah, totally.
So like that we are sharing that with the world, under LFGT Girls, and we'll be talking more as well, like doing more, I think like live kind of content, and then more creative ways to share our experiences, right? So that more for female entrepreneurs can join us in Web3. I think that's so important. You don't just, I don't think it's enough to like just preach people like, oh, you do this, you do that. And like you said as well, like, oh, you're lucky. It's never about luck, right? And then you can get that a little bit of insights on how things are never that easy and it's normal and it's okay, right? And you can overcome it. I think that's that part needs to be discussed and shared more. Yeah.
Picha, thank you so much for your work to the world, and I am so inspired also like by the life you had before Web3, and then like you're passionate in terms of like how to help humanity to be better And also like after the Web3, all of the journeys until now is so crazy. And then I'm super happy to be part of that right now as well. And having this conversation is absolutely life-changing. So thank you so much. And wish hopefully, and we'll see each other very, very soon, also in the future at some point. And yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I've had so much fun, and this conversation is so long overdue since Paris, right?
Yes.
Thank you. I feel so honored to be featured in this show. So,
thank you. Thank you for listening, and you can leave your comment below, ask the questions, and I will pick one of the best questions and then add as the guest without you knowing who is the guest you are going to ask the question to. So, thank you for listening.